You guys, hello and welcome to ORL Tier 2, round number 12 here around Abu Dhabi, and I am not joined by J-Man in the comms box tonight, nor am I joined by anyone in the comms box tonight, so you have to deal with me all race long. Yeah, so it's going to be a good one. Abu Dhabi, obviously an interesting track, a lot of drivers, not too fond of it, but yeah, it happens. Not all drivers are going to be fans of all tracks, and me personally, I think it's a good track and it's definitely good for racing. And I think with how tight the championship is in both constructors, and with Zonix being able to bring home the drivers quite comfortably tonight, it is going to be the perfect situated track for the event. And obviously, many championship deciders here, both in real life and in ORL in the past, and hopefully no controversy in ORL compared to real life. So, Ragon beginning his first flying lap, but I'm going to talk about the championship. So, obviously, Aston Martin hot on the heels of Mercedes here in the Tier 2 and overall constructors. And tonight they've recruited Jaden Squires, the former Mercedes driver from this season. And obviously he reserved after he returned as well from Ovnoa being away. But Ovnoa is back for this round and ready to punch hard, and Magic Shot is there as well. So it's going to be a battle of the Titans here, with Aston Martin having probably the strongest lineup they've held all season with Zonix and Jaden combined, and then Mercedes having their full driver lineup tonight. So just looking to the constructors' standings. Hold on a moment. Overall constructors, we have Mercedes on 417 points to Aston Martin's 370, which can not completely fall away tonight, not through Tier 2, obviously if Tier 1 also goes poorly for Mercedes, if they have a poor night tonight, that can also change, but yeah, 417 to 370 can be closed up very massively in this Tier 2, and then obviously Tier 1 later will decide the rest of it, but then in the Tier 2 constructors, this is what we're more focused on here tonight. 292 points to 239. Obviously, Jaden is actually going to drop 5 points from Mercedes because an appeal decision got changed from Qatar, so the standings will need to change back a few points. So it will be more, I think it'll be 289 points to 239. So still very close there when you think about it. I think that this is going to be a very crucial point in the championship this round, with two after this to go, and with it only being separated by just under 50 points, I believe, if my math is right. I might be having a small brain moment though. That is easily able to be overcome, even just tonight, and most of that can be closed, not all of it though. But that's given if Mercedes have a poor night, as Jaden goes 22.6 for provisional pole. Zonix coming around in the final couple of corners now. He's rounding the final corner. Will he topple his teammate here on the timesheets? Yes, he does. 22.608. So the Aston Martin boys already showing their speed as Magic Shot goes into Sector 2. Kia plays from nowhere in the Ferrari. 22.595. The first one into the 22.5s of the session. Provisional pole. Magic Shot won here in another league just a few weeks or days ago. I can't remember which one it was. And he's pushing hard. He's pretty strong around here, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Ovnoa are also sounding like he's having a pretty good time, and I think a couple of other drivers not wanting to be here tonight. So Ovnoa tackles the timesheets there. 22.4 for the Mercedes driver, and Magic Shot 23.0 for his first run in qualifying. So this grid is looking to be ever close, as Div 2 always is, as Div 2 always delivers. And it will be a close race between everyone. I'm just trying to get some people into the lobby that need to be joining. I'm just getting them to add me. Yeah, so these standings are close. And to look at reserves, Mad Dog, I don't know if he's reserved this season in ORL, but I think he might have maybe once or twice. So he's coming back to reserve for Williams this week, and hopefully he can throw a bit of a surprise into the bag. He's pretty quick from what I've seen of him over this game. So we'll see how it goes. Zandon heading through the final sector on his, I assume, banker lap. He's looking alright for the moment. The yellow flag, and there's a slow Mercedes in front of him as well, but obviously they're just letting him go. No impeding down there. And then down 4th gear, final corner on the power, 23.7. Puts himself P10 as Mad Dog is on an outlap, so we'll look at him while we wait for him to begin his... Actually, no, Apex Stig. No, he's down. Okay, we will go to Mad Dog. And who do I need to invite? I think Frosty needs an invite. I think Hudson also needs an invite, but anyway. He's not here yet. Frosty should be getting into the lobby soon to add a 15th driver to the mix, and I think Hudman will be joining midway through to add our 16th to the grid. But right now we have 14. Mad Dog is beginning his first flying lap in the Williams. Let's see how he can do through turn 1. Use all the entry curve, down the gears, 4th gear, tip it in, easy on the power as you now flat out through this roller coaster, up, down, left, right section. And now heading towards the most infamous corner in Formula 1, one that holds many controversy in real life, through that hairpin where Max Verstappen made his famous dive on Lewis Hamilton to take his first world championship. And obviously, I don't think we'll be seeing anything of quite that controversy tonight, but we might see some incidents there, as people do like to go for an old move there. As now Mad Dog through the chicane, looking quite clean through that. He's having quite a smooth lap, but we don't know. Smooth is not always fast, but smooth can be fast as well. So we'll have to see as he heads through the high-speed hairpin, entering Sector 3 now, flat out through these 2 rights, and then hard on the braking down into the under the hotel section. And then a little bit of a lift, back on the power, pick it up, now flat out through this right, where it used to just be a brake, and now hard on the anchors, tip it in, trail brake to the line, 1:23.0, putting him just ahead of the Mercedes of Magic Shot for P6, as people are now coming out for their second runs in this qualifying session. So we'll head down to Ragon, who is on a lap, entering the final stages of the lap now in the McLaren. He's looking like he's a little bit down. I think I saw 600th down on the lap data. But can he recover that? Flat out through the right. And now heavy on the anchors through the final corner. Will he be able to improve his position past P8? He does a 1:23.2 and does not improve in his second run in this qualifying session. So now it's all up to his final run if he wants to go finding time. So everything is up to that. Kia is on a lap, entering Sector 1 now, so we'll go on board with the Ferrari man as he looks to make a strong ending to this season for Ferrari after having the poor start he had with Alpine. He's 200th down in the first sector as he dives down the gears, dives into the apex at the hairpin, and now an exit onto a long DRS straight, which will be home to many overtakes come the Grand Prix in a few moments' time. But Kia not giving it quite everything. I think he's saving just a little bit for that final run in this section. Oh my god, I'm forgetting how to speak English, guys. Help me. In this session. And as he opens up the DRS for another hot spot for overtaking, and then just dab the brakes down to 5th gear. He's 800ths up on his lap time, as you've just got to hold the car together through here. The car gets super loose, unstable at the best of times through here, let alone when you're trying to hold it on the raggedy edge in qualifying. These cars are on an absolute knife edge, and through this sector it's so easy to just make one little mistake and ruin the whole flow of the whole sector, but he's negotiated it well. Curb on the entry, 4th gear, ran the final corner on the power. What's it going to be? It's going to be at 1 minute 22.5, putting him just below of Noah in the P2 spot. He has a bit of time to find in Sector 1, but I don't see any more being gained after that, so we'll head to Magic Shot, who is 7 tenths up on his previous best lap time. This would put him on for a 22.2, and he spins around at Latifi corner and throws it all the way. The 7/10 delta he had is all gone at the worst of times, and that is super unfortunate for him. Zonix is in Sector 3 now, but Ovnoa is just up the road from him, so we'll move to Ovnoa. We'll go on board with the Mercedes man. Can he extend his lead on this qualifying, on this grid? Will he be able to improve any more in his second run? 22.3, P1 for the moment, as we move back down to Zonix 22.6, moving up the order to P3. So they've had solid runs there in their middle runs, and now it all comes down to these final 5 minutes. As I've just got to invite our final person to join the grid tonight, as they were a bit late. Hudman, there we go. And now it is all up to these final runs. Who will snatch pole? Will Zonix be able to find the 3/10 necessary? Will Ovnoa find any more time? Will Kia find that time through Sector 1 and through the rest of the lap? And will the Magic Shot complete that lap he was 7/10 up on? He would have been on for a 0.2, and it would have been close. So we'll see if Magic can propel himself up the grid. Maybe Mickey can have a stronger closing to this qualifying session, as he's down in P9. We've seen some vast improvements from him. He was super strong in Qatar before a bunch of lobby issues kind of ruined his chances, so if he can make a recovery here, he'll be having a decent time, but he's also said he's not super confident here. And yeah, I think it's just going to be who can perform under pressure here at the brink of it. As Hudman is now joined into the session just in time for final runs, if he can get his setup on and get out of the garage in time. Frosty is on a lap. He might be one to watch for here, as he's heading through the chicane. He's looking pretty clean and not scruffy on his lap, but I was drinking some water, so I wasn't particularly paying attention. As he's about to head into Sector 3, as he now does enter into Sector 3. It's his first lap time, 53.0, as he heads into the middle, so he has about 30 seconds left to complete his lap for a good time, just over, and as he's hard on the brakes now, and then just a lift. Look at the front nose on that car pointing, but he invalidates as it doesn't point exactly where he wants it to, and now he's got to dive into the pits for a mad dash for time. You can make it. He does just about have the time, but it will be close if he can do a proper outlap or not. So as we see Hudman now joining the grid for Ferrari, will he be able to get a setup on and get out of the garage as well? I would like his chances, as we have a few drivers on our last. Magic is about to begin his final flying lap now. So he's heading up the gears, telemetry on board for his final run in this qualifying session. He's the first of the big hitters to be finishing in the session. He's finishing it quite early. The tyre mob was maybe he's trying to avoid the worst of them, but the track won't be fully evolved. As he's heading through Sector 1 now, he's 2/10 up, just through the first sector split, 17.3, hard on the gears, down them, and then back up them now for the straight. He had a clean hairpin, clean traction out of the corner, as he's now heading towards, in my opinion, what is one of the hardest corners on this circuit, because of how tricky the braking zone is into this chicane. It's almost like a double hairpin chicane, as he flicks it in third gear, just misses the inside curb, hits the inside curb on the right though, and now DRS open all the way into Sector 3, as what will his split be as he enters through into Sector 3? It's 8/10 up Will this right now has him set for provisional pole? Will he be able to snatch it away from his teammate at this current moment? Or will he throw it all the way in the final sector again? He's down the gears. Second gear. Short shift up. Flick the car across. Hope the front nose stays with you. He's lost a little bit of time through there. And I think he's just thrown it away. And he has thrown it away. Magic Shot at the break of it has just ruined his final run in this qualifying session. And that will put him down the grid majorly as he's going to try go again. He will probably improve, but he doesn't have the battery to do much about it, and now he'll have worn tyres if he is just saving the battery to go for one more. So that's going to be a massive hurt for him. He would have been starting in the top 3 if he'd completed that lap. Let's see what he can do now, but Kia Plays is nearly 2/10 up as he heads into the final sector as he nearly gets impeded by that Aston Martin. I'm not sure who it was, and I don't know if he did get impeded or not. It looked pretty close as he's now heading through this final sector. If he can just improve a couple more hundredths, he will beat Ovnal to provisional pole. But obviously, everybody's still about to enter their final runs in this session. So where will Kia put it for now in this quali with 50 seconds to go? Will he snatch provisional pole away? It's looking likely, and he does a 22-0 and does snatch provisional pole. But all of our heavy hitters are now to begin their laps. Jaden in P4 has just begun his final flying lap. He's 100th up. And will he be able to find more time through the rest of this lap? Meanwhile, Zonix is also started his lap. Apex Stig has also started his lap. Noah started his lap. And I think Magic is about to cross the line to start another one of his laps as he heads through Sector 3. He's not going to have a lot of time, and he wouldn't have been able to save too much battery, but obviously he still needs to make up some positions as P9 will not be the place where he wants to be starting with 10 seconds left to go in this qualifying. Will he even make the line? As we'll look towards the map right now as Jaden's middle sector split. Magic just makes the line, I think, and Jaden is a 10th up. This would put him just past his teammate, but obviously his teammate is also pushing behind him. So through Sector 3 now, Jaden looks like he's holding it together on the knife's edge. But will he be able to bring this home? Unlike Magic, will he be able to bring it home for inside the top 3? Mad Dog goes P4 from absolutely nowhere, and Jaden's invalidated. So we'll now move down to Zonix, who is on a lap. He is pushing hard. He want to steal pole off Kia. Maybe off Noah as well. He might want to steal it off him as well if Noah doesn't improve. Zonix pushing to the absolute edge here. Flat out through the right-hander. And now on the brakes. Down the gears. Get a good exit. What's it going to be? What's the time going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 22.1. Putting him P2 as we now move down to Noah, who is nearly 3/10 up. Will this be enough to snatch it off Kia? Will he put it on pole? What's it going to be? It's going to be a 1:22.1, and it only just gets him past Zonix. But right now, Kia is looking like the man to watch. Magic didn't make the line. We'll move down to Mickey now, who is going to be the last one to cross the line on a lap, and he spins it out the final corner, and he invalidated anyway. Kia obviously coming into the pit lane, and what a poor result there in qualifying for Magic Shot, only picking up P10. He'll try to make it up in the race, but not what I expected at all from this qualifying session. So, from nowhere, I don't think anyone expected it. Kia snatches pole, 1 minute 22.0 of Noah, 22.1, just behind him, 5 thousandths is the gap between him and pole, just away from his fingertips, and then Zonix with a 22.1 as well, P3. Then we have Stig, Mad Dog, Jaden, not particularly where he'd want to be, but not a bad position either. Then we have Royal Duck, Ragon, and Frosty, and Magic Shot rounds out the top 10 so many times with he on to be in this top 3 range, and then he threw it away in Sector 3 every single time, so hopefully he doesn't do that in the race. Then we have Mickey Hudman, Aquestic, Xandon, Term, and Taipan TJ didn't qualify. So as we head into the Grand Prix now, my pick for the win would be someone inside that top 6 area, but obviously tier 2, anybody's game, and we'll have to see once we get to the lights. As I need to take a frickin' breath, guys. I have not stopped talking. So, people will be starting on the hard and the medium, potentially 1 or 2 runners on the softs, but as we go to the lights here, we come to 5 road lights here for Tier 2 in Abu Dhabi. And it is lights out, and away we go here. For Tier 2 racing here in ORL. Of Noah trying to put the pressure on the Kia. Can't quite do it. Zonix now trying to go around the outside of Noah. Ends up on his inside now as we head through the X's. This could be a calamity of an incident here. This could be really bad, but they hold it side by side through the sector. These two already fighting away for P2. Who will come out on top? Of Noah breaks later. Meanwhile, Jaden in the background trying to get involved as we head into the hairpin. Mad Dog as well now as they're going to go 3 wide down the straight. Stig, Mad Dog and Jaden. Who will come out on top? Who has the lowest wings here as we head into the chicane? Who can come out on top here? Opno also defending from Zonix, but I want to see who comes out on top as they head 3 wide into the braking zone. Stig breaks later, holds P4 for the moment, but Jaden not giving it up just yet. Jaden is pushing hard on those hard tyres, and he's right at the back of Stig here. Maybe a bit of decent going on, a bit of ghosting going on here, even though ghosting isn't even on in this lobby. And Jaden now is going to sweep through into P4, but Stig isn't giving it up just yet, but just about falls away. Zomix and Ovnoa are going wheel to wheel, though, as we head through Sector 3. This is a battle for the ages. Kia taking his chances here, trying to pull away, and Zonix finally, after a whole lap of wheel-to-wheel action, takes the lead. Takes P2, but takes the lead in what will be his race here. I don't think he's going to catch Kia unless he has some phenomenal race pace. Obviously, the gap is only a second, and Zonix can overcome that, but Kia right now looks like he has lightning pace, so this is going to be his race, and it's his race against Mercedes right here. It's Aston Martin, Mercedes, Aston Martin, and then the other Mercedes is down the grid. I think Magic Shot had an incident come lap 1 and is very far back, but obviously it happens. Type N TJ, after starting last place after not qualifying, has now gotten himself up into P6 after a beautiful overtake there, putting on an absolute clinic in 2 laps. He's gained 10 positions, at least if he did start last. And now Mad Dog trying to hold this position here. They nearly went 3 wide again into the hairpin. Jaden now holding the inside. Type-N TJ, they've been in VCs and races in the past, but Type-N getting the move done instead of working with him this time, but I'm sure we'll see more of their teamwork come again later in this race. Hudman, after only doing 1 run in qualifying, is in P8 after arriving late, so he is running quite a good race as well. And under the lights here, it is looking like a race that is going to mark in the history books of ORL. This is so close. The whole grid, I know it's only lap 2, but I don't think I've seen the drivers not been spread out by the end of lap 2 for a little while now, as Jaden just getting past the outside, Type-N TJ through there. And yeah, Type-N is having absolutely none of it in this race, as Type-N now trying to hold the position on Apex Dig. Apex Dig tries to go right around the outside. They nearly touch, as we'll go on board with Hudman for an overall view of what is going on in front of them. And Type-N TJ is putting the pressure on. He is having absolutely no regrets here in this race. He is just going for it, and he's gone down the inside at the hairpin, and he's giving it everything. Those hard tyres not doing him too well come the exits of every corner, but they might go 3 wide here. Hudman and Hudman and Type-N and Stig nearly going wheel to wheel, but Hudman seemingly having lower wings as there's a bit of contact there in the chicane. It's Apex Stig and Type-N TJ. Apex has gone off the road. Apex has nearly ended up in a wall. Type-N's loose, and now Aquestic goes through, and Hudman nearly put himself in a wall as well. So a lot of contact going on here, and a lot of just argy-bargy hard racing here as Royal Duck now trying to put his nose in on Type-N TJ. Those hard tyres not firing up quite yet, but surprisingly, honestly, Zonix staying with Kia, and I didn't expect it. I know Kia's a quality pace merchant, but I kind of expected him to run away in these early stages. I thought he was going to pull a Senna and throw away all of his battery. So, Zonix, 25.6 fastest lap, so I'm eating my own words from the start of the race here. And yeah, Zonix is pushing hard behind him. Ovno is falling away. There's a yellow flag. I'm gonna cry, guys. as Magic Shot retires from this race. And Mercedes' result now depends on of Noah, and that leaves Aston Martin with a big chunk of points that they can claw back from Mercedes if everything goes well for them. So that puts a lot of hurt onto Mercedes and a lot of pressure into their Tier 1 for the overalls. But also it puts a lot of pressure into their driver of Noah here for the actual Tier 2 constructors. So it is all kicking off here in these final 3 rounds, and this is going to be a close finish in this race in the constructors fight, and Aston will now know that it is crunch time. They can do or die, they can make some moves, they can ultimately try and bring this championship so much closer than it currently was at the end of this round. This is truly game on for the Aston boys. Now, they can have so many more points than Mercedes in this round. Sorry if I'm like slowly fading away. My voice on lap 5 is already dead because I yelled too much in qualifying. Oh my god. Hey Magic, you've commentated before, right? You want to join me in co-coms? Because I'm dying out here. I've yelled too much and now my voice is already dead. It's Zonix making a move for the lead. I didn't even see that coming. I saw the Delta was 7/10 back, as we're going to quickly get Magic in the comms. There we go. Magic now joining me in the comms box. The man who just DNF'd, but we'll touch on that later as Kia makes a dive bomb and Zonix and Kia make contact here. And a change for the lead once again as the 2 Alpines potentially also going at it as Mickey and Stig close to each other in P8 and P9. Magic, welcome to the comms box in ORL.
Yeah, welcome. Obviously, I'm not very happy with my performance today. Probably should have been a bit better.
Yep, and obviously that puts a lot of pressure onto Mercedes, but I'm sure you and Ovnoa will be looking to claw it back up, but we can touch on that after the race if Ovnoa can claw back a penalty. But yeah, welcome to the ORL comms box. I didn't really expect it, but I know you'd commentated in the past, and I yelled way too much in qualifying.
What'd you yell from?
Just me running out of breath, so my voice just slowly gets strained, so I end up yelling. So then, yeah, I ended up speaking on no breath, and then, yeah, now my throat is in all worlds of pain. There's a yellow flag, and it is Ragon and Frosty who have had an incident. Ragon spun around, no wing. Frosty potentially damage to his front right end plate? No, but he is far back now. As here we go again for the lead. Kia trying to make a move here on Zonix and sweeps through, and this fight for the lead is definitely interesting as they're both using each other's DRS to pull away from Ovnoa. So obviously,
Down the inside.
Yeah.
On the front from the Ferrari.
Yeah. So obviously, yeah, I was gonna say, you can commentate through the stream, but you've just DNF, so you're the spectator anyway. Cool. Alright, cool. That's good. As Hudman is leading a big train here, I've just realized, look at that. P5 all the way down to P10 is all behind the train of Hudman as Jaden comes in early. Really early, considering he's on the hards. He might have picked up damage. We'll go on board with him as he enters the pit lane. That could be huge for Aston Martin in this race if he is changing his wing.
Oh no. This is what?
That is a weird strategy. He's just going on to the mediums.
He's probably looking to take this to the end. He might have wanted to box out of the DRS train and try undercut some people while they're all battling out.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, Dragon's out.
Yeah, he's retired in the pit lane, so he's just called it quits after getting his wing damage potentially. As kind of fair enough, but obviously ORL Tier 2 safety cars are normally bound to happen, so it would have been good if he would have stayed in this race, as Zonix and Kia are wheel-to-wheel once again as we head into Sector 3. These two won't give it up, and Ovnoa has closed a few tenths over the course of this lap, so maybe he's just finding some pace in this race now. But obviously those two are also on mediums while he's on the hard, so the pace difference is quite big. As, Magic, just a quick question. Oh, no!
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh no, is safety car turned on?
Yeah, it is. Oh,
It's off.
no. Oh my god, the lobby.
Safety car.
The lobby bugged. You know what? It's fine. Safety carless ORL race. For the first time, because I was stupid. And oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's all gone wrong in the Mercedes garage in Tier 2. And that means this Constructors is going to be very, very close. There was a substantial lead there. There was about 50-point lead. And that is now going to be diminished to nearly nothing. Oh,
Yeah, they made contact.
oh no. So, Magic, can you just, because I didn't see it, and I don't think the stream saw it either, walk us through what happened with your crash?
Yeah, obviously, probably should have qualified a bit better. I had two occasions, I had two purple sectors, would have been poled by a few tenths, and then at the last Latifi corner, I went just a little bit wide and it validated me, so not happy with that. But yeah, just didn't have a good feeling on the car. Actually lost it a couple times before I did have my crash. I'm not sure at turn 1 if you saw that. I did a big snap and put it in the wall, but no damage. But yeah, just not happy with it at all. It's not the great feeling I had, not confidence. It's like there was no traction out there.
Yeah, potentially just the hard's not firing up properly tonight. But we'll quickly look at the leaders now as they're looking to be fighting again, as obviously Ovnoa out of this race. They now have a big gap over the rest of the field so they can scrap away as hard as they want. And Kia and Zonix are on a pure pace fight for the win here. And Kia is definitely putting some pressure on Zonix, but Zonix is also not giving up easily, as we know he never does. And Zonix sweeps back into the lead with Mad Dog 7 seconds behind, holding the last podium place right now. And there is also a big fight going on from P4 down to P6, so that's for some pretty reasonable points, but Type NTJ obviously does have that 3-second time penalty. Can you give us any tyre insight here, Magic? What were the tyres looking like on, I believe it was lap 5 when you DNF'd?
Yeah, obviously the tyres will start to grain, but I think it's a good strategy call from Jaden. If he's got some clean air right now, and he can just push on and get those lap times in, and he'll come out ahead of Mad Dog for a podium if he can manage his tyres well and take these to the end. So obviously that strategy calls work down at Aston, and we'll see if he can take these to the end.
Yep, and was Kia's just gone for it. I think Zonix deliberately ran wide there, gets a switchback underneath him. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger switchback as they make contact on the exit there. And now Kia finds himself with DRS and alongside Zonix already as we head into the chicane, and I don't think Zonix is too bothered by it, and as long as they stop making contact, they should both bring this home pretty comfortably.
Yeah, big fight at the front, obviously for that race lead. We'll see when they're going to pull the pin to come to the pits. It's about 3 or 4 laps off that pit window, that ideally, but will anyone try the undercut?
Yep, and I think
there's no risk to safety cars.
Yeah, because EA is just amazing.
Work.
I went in when I made the lobby and made sure safety car was on, and then now we go into the race and it's off. It's just, EA is interesting. Anyway, yeah, so I think that the undercut will be powerful as the tyre wear is pretty high around here, and I think even though these drivers are a bit slower than some of the Tier 1 guys, I think this is good insight for Tier 1 later. I think a lot of the drivers who do watch Tier 2 do get a good strategy insight here when it comes to the tyre wear and stuff, because obviously it does change a little bit depending on your pace, but it never changes too much, and the strategies overall are similar sometimes, and you can see what the net gain is like with fresh tyres. As Frosty's out of this session, did he just retire on track?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I think Frosty's just retired on track.
Another move coming here. Zonix back. Oh, and Zonix moves slightly under braking, pushing Kia place wide. He's looking to get the DRS though from Zonix, and he's going to cover off this inside line as they're heading into the hairpin. But I think Kia's going to get this one done well before the corner. He gets to move up into P1 again. Big fight from these guys though.
Yeah, and I think this will be the fight all the way till the end, and I think the person who wins this race will be the one to blink first. And Kia has not shown any really strong signs for most of the season until recently when he started to qualify well, but normally he ends up dropping back in the race. But right now, he's looking like he's holding it together, and he's definitely causing a stir here at the front of the grid and might be able to snatch some points away from Aston. So as we head on to what is getting close to the halfway point, as lap 14 will basically be the halfway point, the leaders haven't really changed too much, I mean, except for obviously Mercedes having a bit of a downfall, Frosty also DNFing, but he wasn't really a leader. And then Jaden being down in P9 because he pitted early. There hasn't been too much else shuffle through the grid except for the fact that Zonix and Kia are changing positions on basically a corner-to-corner basis. So as Zonix going for another move here, they're going to swap positions under DRS again here in this race. And now Kia will have the DRS heading onto the straight towards Sector 3. So will he go for the position swap again? Yes, he will. Zonix not going to fight it. And I think these two are just using the DRS each lap to just pull away more and more down every single straight that they go on. Because I think they know if they can pull a massive gap to the grid, then they can really take the gloves off and start to fight. So, looking at Jaden, he's heading into Sector 3 now, and Zonix is heading past the pit lane entry now. Will Jaden be on course for an undercut right now?
He might even get these leaders, because the pit time around here is quite long. It's about 22 seconds. 23 seconds, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that we'll find that Jaden will come out quite substantially in the lead, but then you've also got to look at the fact that then that new tyre advantage he's had on all of these guys will then swap the other way, and his teammate will close back up to him again.
This will be a team player thing. I think the aim is Jaden to get out ahead of the front runners, and then to let Zonix by and to defend Kia so they can run away with it, and Zonix just keeps providing that DRS for Jaden to protect himself from Kia. I think that's what they're going to do at Aston, so we'll see if that works.
Yep, and I think that you're right, and I think this is going to be one big team play, and that is why Zonix isn't going to be fighting overly hard until we get out of the pits from these guys, which I believe they'll be pitting in just a short few laps time, around lap 15, I think they should pit. But then they're going to be on hard for quite a while, so they could be trying the medium soft ultimately. So I'd say if they don't come in on this lap or lap 14, they'll probably be in for the hards if they pit in the next two laps. And Kia does dive in. Zonix might be trying to stretch for the hards, but Kia was very aggressive on that entry. He had to dive across so quickly, and Zonix nearly hitting him. Will go on board with Kia to see, obviously, where he comes out, where Jaden comes out, and also what tyre he's going onto. He is going onto those white striped hard tyres. And now, let's go on board with Jaden. Where is Jaden? He's at the final corner. Kia, right now, is sitting on the pit lane exit. So, will he come out in front? Where will Kia come out? If Jaden can jump Kia, that is truly game on. But I think Jaden has been held up just enough by Aquestic, and he has, because Jaden was gaining so much more on these leaders, but I think Aquestic has come into this and blocked him just enough for Jaden not to get the jump.
It's outlap critical for Kia if he wants to stay. If he wants to really make a mark on Zonix.
Yep, and obviously, I don't think anybody is going to stand in the way of that outlap, as he looks like he has pretty big chunks of clean air here. Jaden's still getting held up by Aquestic into every braking zone. He is not having a fun time with this race, and as it stands, obviously, a lot of people still have to pit, but sitting down in P7 right now is not where he'd be looking to be, and especially not being held up by a Red Bull. So he is not having the cleanest of times there. But we'll move up the grid to some racing action here as Taipei, TJ, Hudman, Scott, and Apex Steer going at it in a 3-car train. They've been going on for a while here, but the leader fight was a bit more interesting as we head under Latifi's favourite section of racetrack in history. And we head onto lap 16, I believe. No, lap 15. And Zonix is now in the pits. Hudman has come into the pits. And, yeah, Zonix has gone on to the hard compound tires. Where will Kia come out? Kia could jump him. I think Kia has jumped him by a substantial amount.
About 1.5 seconds. Gonna be about 1.5 seconds, I reckon.
Yep, and I think you're
Probably more
right.
than that.
2 seconds, basically. So Zonix, with only 1 lap fresher tires, now has to... Obviously, he has a while to do it. 14 laps. But 14 laps, 2 seconds. Nothing we don't see from Zonix on a weekly basis. But it is also not going to be easy, as he has shown he has super similar pace to Kia plays in this race, and Kia is about to pick up some DRS, but that DRS could also hurt him because he still has to fight through them as well, so we'll have to see if he gets held up or can just clean through that top 3 pack right now, or that just the 2 in front of him, not the top 3 pack. Mad Dog is absolutely clear up the road, 5 seconds currently. And we've been looking at the leaders a lot. Who do you think will get P3 here, Magic?
I think this could be Jaden's, to be honest. I think he's managing these tires really well. I reckon he'll take these.
Yeah, so double.
I mean, he'll have to because he loses way too much time.
Yeah, obviously.
Lindsay, you want to read tier 2 chat?
Yeah, hold on. Restart it. It's not better. More especially. Restart. Okay, hold on, let me look at this on my phone so people don't miss all the racing action because of going into tier 2. Hold on.
I'll keep it running while you do that. People coming to the pits now. That's Mad Dog, Roll Duck, and Alpina Rapid Mickey. We'll see what tyres it looks like. They're all going on hard tyres here. Oh, Rapid Mickey's going on soft tyres. He's got a front wing change now. So do we think that this... I don't think this is a good call here from Alpine. Soft tyres probably go roughly 6 to 7 laps, but he's got to take these 13 to 14 laps. So we'll see. But Taipan's right on the back of Kia now. And he has not boxed yet. And he's just hanging on to that DRS. So this could be Taipan's strategy. Hang on to the DRS of Kia and get these tyres. When he's in DRS, get these tyres to a soft under, but he's going to lose DRS. Just fall. And Taipan's... Oh, big snap there from Taipan. He's let Zonix through. And he's coming into box. Zonix reducing that gap now to just... And he gets the fastest lap of the race. At this rate, it looks like it will be an Aston double podium unless the likes of Mad Dog can gain 15 seconds. He's got the brand new hard tyres. He should gain about 8 to 9 tenths a lap. So this will get close towards the end of this race. There's 12 laps to go. The gap is 16, and it should come down every lap we go. Apex Dig on soft tyres now, so we'll see where he can take these. .7 seconds. That gap at the lead has been brought out to only 1 lap fresher tyres. Does Kia have? So he has made the undercut on Zonix on the Aston and has got the battery advantage and the ERS deployment that he can use at his hand. The goal is now for the Ferrari to just let Zonix in DRS. Because then if he gets in DRS, Zonix, he can just recharge his battery, which is on 59%. So there's a battle here between Taipan and Apex Stig. 6/10 the gap at the moment. And there's going to be a dose of DRS. And how long can these soft tyres last?
But with tier 2 chat at the moment.
There's Apex Stig down the inside of the chicane. Late on the brakes. Can he get Taipan? Taipan tries to switch back. And he's going to get the DRS this time. And has got the better exit. So this will be a battle all the way to the hairpin now, as Taipan just is not close enough, and it looks like Apex Stick has got the move done and is up into 6th place. But how long can those soft tyres last?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, but I also would happen to think that those soft tyres will be pretty much good until the last few laps, and with the overall grip he has now, he should be able to pull away more than he needs to until the end of the race. So I think the soft tyres from when he pitted will make the most sense.
Double be gaining every lap.
Yeah, so just looking at the way that this grid is ending up, it will be an Aston double podium, but Mad Dog is also not too far behind, so he might be able to get involved with Jaden. With 10 laps to go, anything's still possible here, but 1.5 to Kia and Zonix, and with still 10 laps to go, it is looking like it's going to be super close. So, Kia holding solid pace, and I think that Zonix is also just holding the same pace as Kia nearly. I think maybe minimal gains per lap. So we see a Red Bull into the pits of, I believe that's a Questic, potentially. And, yeah, I think that as we head into the dying stages of this race, this is going to be, yeah, it's going to be interesting as Jaden comes into the pits. That early pit stop may be hurting him.
That's going to cost him. That's going to cost him big time. That's a wrong call, I think.
He's going fast.
I don't think he can make those places up.
I think potentially going fastest lap, but I definitely don't think he can make up these places. As where he was...
He could have had at least P3 or P4.
Who he was just fighting with is now about to enter Sector 3. And he is in Sector 1. So...
Yeah. It's a bad goal.
Yeah, I don't think the strategy was right. I think those hards or mediums, the mediums he was on, I mean, they would have been dead, but I think they would have been able to make the end. He would have at least gotten P4. I think Mad Dog might have closed him as of Noah leaving the session, but obviously he DNF'd very long time ago, so that won't change anything. There's Jaden now. He is now, yeah, he's in an interesting spot. I think that the leaders are obviously in a world of their own, the fight for P4 is definitely on, and then Mad Dog has a comfortable P3, so I think that, yeah, Jaden is going to have his work cut out for him. I think he'll be able to get up into that top 6, but I think by the time we come to the final lap, he'll only just be entering to the back of this queue that he's at. But then again, Typhoon TJ does have 6 seconds worth of time penalty. Right now, Jaden is about to be, like, by the end of the race, he'll definitely be in P6. So, at the end of the day, a 2-6 is still really good for Aston in this fight. And who said Zonix won't get the win either? So, I think ultimate.
That rolls to 16 points, I believe.
Yeah.
Mercedes will lead still.
Yeah, but obviously it won't be by a lot. I think coming into this round, Mercedes were looking pretty easily to bring it home for Tier 2, and then now definitely not so much. So the fight is definitely going to be on going into these next 2 rounds, but we still have the final 8 laps of this race to go, so we'll focus on these as Taipan and Hudman still scrapping away at it. Obviously Hudman doesn't have a penalty, Taipan has 2, but Taipan is never a person to give up from a fight as Jaden gets past Aquestic now. So now he has 9 seconds to close to Taipan TJ, but he only has to close 3.2 if he wants to find himself into that P6 position. So Zonix has now just broken the 1 second gap here for the lead. So Zonix will now be back in that DRS scrapping range just like we were before the pit stops. And now this is going to be a 7-lap scrap till the end as Jaden picks up the fastest lap of the race, 24.1. I think he'll find more time on another lap and set the fastest lap again. Right now, Kia is looking like he's in it's an interesting spot. He has 1 lap older tyres, but he also has the DRS, which will easily make that back up. So I think that this is going to be the person who is behind going on into that corner on lap 29, like onto the DRS straight, will probably win the race. But then I also said the same thing in a Vegas League race on Thursday that I was commentating, and then somehow Taipan managed to hold on the straight, even though it's the Vegas straight. So who knows? I think it all comes down to battery, because right now Kia has 40%. Zonix has 43, so at this moment it'd basically just be whoever burns at the right time, whereas I think normally it would be who has the most battery.
I mean, still looks intact though, so they will continue at Red Bull. Well, you're intrigued, and I'm intrigued at this front back.
Yeah, and I think that Zonix might go for a move here. He's only 5/10 back as we're heading towards the braking zone. Why am I yawning so much? Anyway, Zonix 2/10 behind. Will he go down the inside? No, I think he's going to wait for the next straight, and that is fair enough, as it is quite a long straight, and he'll be quite clear as we head into the braking zone, as he's in the DRS, but I don't think... Is he? No, he's not sitting in the slipstream. Yeah, he just used the DRS. Yeah, he doesn't want to. So, that is definitely an interesting tactic there from Zonix. Instead of swapping around, there he's just sitting behind now. I think he wants to put that pressure on Kia. If Kia's behind him, then what's he going to do, you know? Like, they'll just overtake. Kia won't be under pressure. If Zonix is right behind him, putting pressure on him every lap, it's a bit of a different story, isn't it? It makes it easier for Kia to slip up and crack under the pressure.
It allows Zonix to recharge his battery, while Kia has that pressure from Zonix to keep track position, and it's going to force Kia to use his battery, while Zonix can just hold himself within this DRS, reach out to the battery, and really attack with a couple of laps to go.
Yeah, and I'd happen to say that Zonix is probably the favourite to win this one, despite it being so close, but with the way he's playing it right now, it just feels a bit too... I don't know. I think that just the way he's playing it, he'll build up so much battery to the point where it's going to be almost impossible for him to lose. As Kia moves a bit under braking there, just defends a little bit. maybe just turned in a little bit early, and now Zonix is going to be on the back of him here. As we head into the second DRS straight again, and Zonix, once again, just not wanting to overtake. Just sitting right behind him.
Just playing it safe at the moment, Zonix. Taking it very easy. He could even be having a be lying on the beach. That's how relaxed he is at the moment in the situation.
This is an Alpine round. That could be, I think it is Mickey. Yeah, it is Mickey as the leaders are coming up to him now. Hopefully he doesn't get in the way of anybody. As we head on lap 25 or 29, the gap is 6/10, 4 laps to go. Still anybody's race here. There's not a lot else going on track, which is unusual for Div 2, but that's what happens when EA decides no safety cars. Just goes to show that safety cars can make or break a race sometimes.
Exactly. Sometimes you just need it. Especially in league racing, it's a pivotal part of your strategy. Sometimes you generally know there's going to be a safety car, so you plan your strategy upon knowing that there's generally a safety car that usually occurs. But obviously, they're free reign tonight, and it's Kia and Zonix that's dominating this race. 20 seconds they've almost pulled to Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Who's on fresh tires. Well, not fresh, but 1 or 2 lap fresher tires than those two at the front.
Yeah, I think it just shows the level of consistency and pace that these two leaders have demonstrated from start to finish. Obviously, we haven't quite gotten to the finish, but it's lap 26 about to be, and they are still pushing strong, and I don't think I've seen any of them make a single error in this race. I think they've been pretty flawless, except for a few bits of contact. So the gap is 6/10. They're about to close up to Mickey, though. That could come into play if Kia gets a couple bites of DRS from this Alpine in front of them. That could change this race just a little bit, as it might allow Kia to stretch a bit more of a comfortable gap than he's had on previous laps. As Andon retires from the session, he, I think, had a snap of oversteer at the high-speed hairpin, and that is a very unusual place of crashes. The Alpine getting out of the way there and making sure he doesn't interrupt with how this finish to the race goes. And I think, oh man, what happened to Zen? He must have just lost it going into the hairpin.
Everyone gets points now because the McLarens are in the race.
Yeah, everybody in the...
AI.
Yeah, terms on AI. Yeah, so everybody who finishes this race that isn't on AI now gets points, and as we're about to head on to lap 27, it is a good result for anybody who finishes, because I think at this dying stage of Tier 2, any point is highly appreciated, and Aston Martin are definitely having a good points haul tonight.
6.5 seconds to get now to Taipan. He needs to push a little bit hard. He's got 3 laps to make half a second. I think he should do this comfortably, but the Taipan's doing well. He's holding that gap at 6.5. So we'll see what Jaden can conjure up in these last few laps.
Yeah, obviously that is a bigger part of Aston's race. If they can get P6, that's even more points to close in on Mercedes, and I think Mercedes will definitely be feeling the pressure going into these final 2 rounds, but that is for us to find out as we head into the final 2 rounds. But speaking of final 2, we're in the final 2.5 laps of this Grand Prix, so it's all to play for here. Zonix just still lifting off at the end of every straight, trying not to overtake, and I think that he's just been saving batteries right now. He has 68%, Kia has 51%, so Kia's definitely been feeling some pressure, whereas Zonix has just been putting it on.
Zonix is lifting. He is not taking any of Kia. Kia should not be taking any of this tactics from Zonix. So it's going to be in Kia's mind now what he needs to do in his last few laps. Does he slow right down? Does he try to play DRS checking? It'll all be looming in his head So that's for him to decide and for us to find out in these last 3 laps.
Yep, and I think that this is going to be such a crucial point in this race. We're on the penultimate lap, and this is where Zonix will start to use a bit of battery, put even more pressure onto Kia, and this is where Kia has to sit down and make the choice. Does he play a bit of DRS chicken, lift off, try let Zonix through, or does he just push on and hope it's enough to keep that raging Aston Martin behind him? And the decision is going to be so crucial. I think if put me in Kia's shoes, I'm going to play DRS chicken, because right now Zonix has had the upper hand in this race for the past like 10 laps with the way he's been playing chicken, lifting off at the end of every straight. And I think Kia realizes that, and now he is pulling to the inside, and he is either trying to force a mistake out of Zonix, or he's just trying to put some pressure on from being at the front. Jaden did just pick up a 3-second time penalty, so that will secure Taipan TJ's P6 here, I believe.
Taipan wasn't gaining.
Taipan was pulling on Jaden. I was just watching that battle. He dragged the gap out to about 7.2 seconds. It was previously 6.5, so Taipan's done a very good job, but he has secured that place now, so that's very good for Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, so that also hurts Aston by not much, to be fair, but a little bit. But now, as we head onto the final lap of this Grand Prix, Zonix right behind Kia. It is also play for who will pick up the win in Tier 2. This is going to be a crucial moment for Aston Martin. These, 7 extra points you get from winning a race will be absolutely crucial in this fight for P1 in the Constructors. So Kia will be giving it absolutely everything, but Zonix also knows this isn't just about his drivers. He's already secured the driver's standings if he finishes this race, basically in any capacity. And now he goes for it. He pulls to the left. He overtakes Kia. Kia actually has more battery at this point now, so this could be interesting. Kia can get a good exit and deny this win from Zonix, but he's just made a crucial error. He's just made an absolutely crucial error, and that will leave Zonix to drive away into the distance. And it will be Zonix who will take this win. Kia has just made, I think, the worst mistake anybody could ever think of on the final lap when it comes to losing a win. Locking up the tyres and throwing it all away when he had one more chance at this. And Zonix has looked absolutely flawless in this race. He sat behind, making the right moves, putting on pressure, saving up his battery, and he picked the point where he figured it would be the best to go for an overtake. And as he heads through the final couple of corners here in this Grand Prix, it's going to be another dominating performance, and it will be his championship brung home. Zonix is going to win this Grand Prix and be your Tier 2 champion here in ORL Season 5. And take a bow. He wins by 2.6 seconds. Kia comes home behind him, and Zonix will be taking a well-deserved victory lap here in this Grand Prix. Mad Dog will be coming home P3 for Williams. Not a poor result for him at all in any capacity. Taipan TJ will come home, and he will finish P6 after Apex Stig and Hudman crossed the line. Actually, he might get a P5 here. No, not quite, as Stig comes home P4, Hudman, and then Taipan. Jaden will come home P7. Then we have a Questic who will follow suit in P8. Then Royal Duck, Mickey, and then Term on AI. So, what a race it has been, and obviously still 2 rounds to go, but Zonix secures 1/2 of his championship fights. So, he's had an absolutely dominant season, and he's had a lot of competition through it, but those opening 4 or 5 rounds that he won in a row basically solidified him as he's going to win the championship. And finally, round 12 out of 14, he's confirmed it, and he now will be holding up his trophy for the ORL Championship. It's been no easy feat for him, and obviously a lot of people tried to stop him, but he's just not wavered. And I'm sure J-Man will be happy for him as well, but Zonix will be absolutely gleaming with joy. It's not been a great round for Mercedes, but for Aston Martin, they couldn't have asked for much better. And now this fight is truly on as we head into the dying stages of this season. So we'll get through.
I've got to head off, so I'll catch you later.
We'll get the interviews ready. Go Paddock VC for Zonix, Mad Dog.
Sup.
Yeah. So we have Zonix followed by Kia, then Mad Dog, Apex Stig, Hudman, Taipan, Jaden, Aquestic, Royal Duck, and then the rest were DNFs or on AI. So yeah, poor result for Mercedes. It's definitely going to hurt them, but Aston Martin had a good result and will be pretty happy with that, as we're getting the podium finishers into the comms box here for their interviews. As once I get the showroom screen up, we will be all ready to go. One game is so slow, god damn it. Sorry guys, I'm just getting the showroom up like normal, but F1 is so slow. The Williams up. Alrighty. So, Mad Dog, mate, P3 for you.
Yep.
And you've got to be pretty happy with that. I don't think I've seen you reserve this season. You might have once or twice, but you haven't reserved much, and you've just picked up a podium in what is around number 12 or 14 here from absolutely nowhere. You got to be pretty happy with that, aren't you?
Yeah, no, pretty happy with that. Had a bit of a squiggly moment going into the first lap of the race with Mr. Apex. He gave me a cheeky little dive bomb that I wasn't expecting, but yeah, I had to burn a bit on my battery and was trying to keep up with the likes of Zonix and the rest of the lads up ahead, but yeah, that was just too much for me. So, and then safety car wasn't turned on, so essentially it was just survival of the fittest and just keeping the fuel going, and yeah, get a cheeky little P3, so not bad. But I always seem to get P3 on this bloody track in every other league, so you know I think it's just destined.
Yeah, so is there anything else that maybe I'd missed out from your race, or does that pretty much sum it up?
I was kind of chilling on my own for a bit. I mean, I had like an 18-second gap between the lads in first and second. I mean, I tried to do the overcut, and hopefully they would have got caught up in the DRS train, or you know, just in the traffic, but didn't work out. So yeah, no, I was kind of just chilling in my own little head right there, just you know, listening to some music, chilling out with Jaden. So yeah, not much for me to talk about.
Yeah.
But qualifying was a bit shit on my part. I mean, first stint was a bit terrible, and then I improved in the second stint. I got the same time as Zonix at one point, and until he improved, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, do you think you'll find yourself trying to go for back-to-back next week, or do you think that is going to round out your reserve seasoning?
Oh, mate, what's next week's track? I don't even know.
Oh, let me check. I didn't make the calendar. I've been saying this since the start of the season. I should probably know it by now. Austria.
Austria?
Yeah, it's
I'm
Austria, then
pretty
Silverstone.
pretty good at that one. If time goes well for me, and you know I'm able to make the race and reserve, then yeah. But I think after this week, I think maybe I'll come back for a bit of a back-to-back, hopefully. But see what happens.
Yep. So good result from you, and yeah, good to see you on the podium. But we'll now move on to our P2 sitter. Oh yeah, oopsie poopsie. I think I've got him muted. Yeah, I do have him muted. There we go. You can unmute yourself now. Drifts. So,
Yo.
P2 for you, mate. And what it could have been, I mean, you would have had a run at Zonix on that last straight. You had more battery than him. Then you made that crucial error. How are you feeling with that result? Do you think you're a bit disappointed, or are you just happy to bring home a solid result for?
I'm
your
just
season?
happy to bring home a solid result. Good points for the team, and yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, and obviously you haven't had the strongest season, so a good P2 result will definitely lift your spirits a bit. Do you have any comments on that race, or do you think it was just a pretty smooth sailing, pretty boring race?
It was pretty good until Dirty Air kind of made me go deep, but other than that, good battles Onyx. Congrats on the championship, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So how do you feel going into Austria next round?
I haven't touched Austria on this game, but I think I'll do okay. It's not that bad.
Fair enough. Alrighty. So congrats on the P2, mate. But we're now going to move to the man of the season. So Zonix, mate. Tier 2 champion here in ORL, and you've won again tonight, showing how dominant you can be. Obviously, it's a crucial win, not just for your championship, as you've now brung it home, but for Aston's as well, capitalising on, sadly, my team's double DNF down in the Mercedes garage. You got to be feeling pretty happy with yourself with that win. Walk us through it a bit.
Yeah, it's a good win. I wanted that. I've had probably a bit poor form for me in the past couple rounds, so to come back with a win is, perfect. Solidifies the drivers, so that's good. That's all I always wanted to achieve. So I'm happy with that. And then the Mercedes double DNF is just the icing on the cake. Hopefully, Aston can get back in the fight with them.
Yeah, let me just quickly do a little bit of math here. So Jaden got P7, you got P1. So if I head on down to the Tier 2 constructors, so P7, how many points is P7? So your P1 will give you guys 25 points, which will put you on to 254 points. And then Jaden got P7 plus fastest lap, so 200 F1 points. I haven't done standings in a while. Hold on. 7th equals 6 points, so you got 7 points. So you guys are now sitting on 200 and so plus 25 is 254 plus 7 is 261, and then it's 271 plus your 1, so 272 points to 292. So the gap between Mercedes and Aston Martin will be 20 points going into the final 2 rounds in Tier 2.
Yep.
So it's gonna be crunch time for both teams, but obviously with Jaden, from what I've heard, reserving for you guys again. Yeah, it's gonna be a tight finish to the season, and I'm looking forward to it as the league owner, but as Mercedes TP, I am dying inside because I honestly thought we had it pretty solidified there. We had a pretty big gap, so that definitely throws a spanner into the works there.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations on your championship and your P1 in this race, mate, and. Yeah, I think that you'll be obviously punching back again next round, and yeah, Aston versus Mercedes is going to come down to the absolute wire.
Yep. It's going to be good.
Yep, so good result for you, mate. Thanks for the interview, but that is going to be all for ORL Tier 2 action. Tier 1 will see you after the real life Grand Prix. So 7:30 PM AEST, Zandon will be in the comms box with Jaden for Tier 1. But that is going to be your ORL action for this afternoon.